And we are back. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Part 3 of Forfeit Your Soul, Weekly Horror by L.A. Kendrick. Let's get right to it. Okay, we find Antoine about to go look at the video footage of what was, going on in the house, what could have possibly have gone on, to see if there's any footage that shows his son, being struck, or his two sons being struck. But not before he gives the youngest an ice pack for his face, and he tells the oldest to stay with him. So they're down watching, television, and the mother is upstairs, has turned in and sleep. So Antoine's starting to review the footage from his office, and he's looking and he's looking. Doesn't see anything out of the ordinary until he comes across the footage of her inviting and having the guy over, having sex with the guy while he was on a business trip. Now there's actual footage of her flirting with the mailman and the UPS guy and those and other delivery personnel. But this guy she's actually in the house with, having a good time, apparently coming back from the club, and they're just having sex all over the house, in his bed, just all over the house. He's really agitated and frustrated, but he's more relieved that he can see the truth for himself. He's not even as upset as most normal, men would be at this point, because it's been going on so long, and he was just looking for a reason to part company with her, and legit company. So then when he decides to take the kids, there's not going to be much of a fight in the courtroom, because he makes more money, he's the breadwinner, he makes more money, and he has proof of her infidelity. But then a few things start catching him off guard. Like he can just see stuff being knocked over without anybody being present, and there's no windows or anything like that open. And she walks by in some of the footage, and she kind of looks back, and she doesn't take any notice of anything, and she sets stuff back up. And even to the point where she's in the restroom getting ready to go on her luncheon that she just recently had. And the weirdest thing about it is the boys must have had like some confetti and stuff like that on the floor, because as the one son walks by and he's at the top of the stairs, you can actually see something coming behind him, like footprints in the confetti, like sticking to it. So he zooms in, and the footprints have like four toes. And then he sees his son go flying down the stairs, just shoved. Like he said, just the jerk of the body, and he's pushed down the stairs. And then he can also see the youngest son just standing there as he, reviews footage further. He can see the youngest son just getting something striking him, and him flipping, almost doing like a 360 spin and hitting the ground. And he's holding his face, and he's looking around in shock. So then the other brother comes to his aid and is trying to figure out what's going on with him, because he's had something similar happen to him as well. So when he sees this, he goes upstairs and he wakes her up, and he addresses her. He lets her know, so you're going to just bring a guy into my home and have sex with him right here in our home, my home, bought and paid for by me. You couldn't go get a hotel room. You had to have your sex right here in our home. What kind of despicable, low down. I don't even want to say the rest about you. Well, say it. Say it. Why not say it? Well, if you want to be a bitch, then you go right ahead and be a bitch. But you won't be called that by me. So what I'm going to do, I'm leaving. That's it. We're going to go. Me and the boys are going to get a hotel. We're going to come back tomorrow, pack everything up, and we're done. I'm done with you. That's it. You bring this man into our home, and there's no telling what else you brought into the home, because these funny events didn't start happening in this house until you brought this person in. And when I looked at the footage, what footage? The cameras that I have here in the house, Antoine tells Jeanette. And he tells her, it was for home security and home protection. And then he actually has the laptop in his arm and he shows her. He says, "Guy doesn't even have, who is this guy? His face is not even able to be seen on the video footage. What is this? What's a guy that I met and this is the guy that I'm going to be with? Okay, fine, take it, be with him. I got no issue with that. You knock yourself out, I could care less. But we're done. The divorce is going to be finalized and I'm done." Well, then you do what you got to do. I don't want the kids anymore anyway. He said, "I knew," and Antoine tells Jeanette, "I knew you didn't want the kids or the responsibility anyway. You've been showing that, and the kids don't need this." But like I said again, you can turn your back on everything. You can turn it on you can turn your back on your wedding vows, your marriage, and your children is where I draw the line. And I'm done. So Antoine grabs the boys and they head out. Jeanette doesn't even try to pursue. She just falls back to sleep. And she wakes up the next morning and she's all packed because now they're going on that trip to the Bahamas and to Bermuda. And her girlfriends, everybody's all excited. And so they end up meeting at the dock to get on the guy's yacht. It's about 50 or 60 guests, men and women. And he's just glad to see her, and he's just got this thing that draws her in. And so the other men that are addressing the other women, which are her friends, and some of the women that she don't even know. And they get on the yacht, and they got, with their clothes and their luggage and everything, and they get on a yacht because they're supposed to be gone for like 5 days. And they get on the yacht, and they're sailing out. So they're sailing out, they're having a party all the way to the destination. And things start getting weird, like the sky starts changing a little bit, then it goes back to normal, then it changes a little bit, different colors, just a different vibe, different atmosphere. And nobody thinks anything of it. They just keep having a good time and drinking and eating and partying and sex here and sex there, just all over the place. And so Jeanette and her guy are on the balcony, on the bow, looking like in Titanic. And they're just looking out, and he's holding her around the waist, and she's just elated and feels euphoric, and she just feels like she's made the best decision of her life. And then she can hear glass break. And she looks back, and again, the yacht's huge. And she can see women running and screaming, but she thinks that they're just having fun and they're drunk. And so they go in to try to join the fray. So Jeanette realizes that there's blood on the floor. And a lot of the women are screaming, and the men are just real calm and cool and collected. And some of the men have blood on their mouths. And then she looks on the floor and she sees one of the ladies has been disemboweled. And there's one guy eating from her. Then she looks over to the right, there's another guy sucking what appears to be life force out of the other one. And then these dudes tear their skin off, revealing that they're monsters underneath. So Jeanette is in shock, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. She's like, "Oh my God, what is this? What's happening?" And her guy tries to play it off as if he doesn't know either. And even some of the women that were there reveal that they're actually male creatures. Basically what she's run into is a bunch of succubus. And she doesn't have a clue what to do at this point because she can't go back. She's too far out. They've already passed the Bahamas. How? She doesn't know. But the time seems to be sped up, or either the time is sped up, or they're moving really, really quickly, or they're going through dimensional rips or something, but she can't figure out what's going on and how they managed to skip the Bahamas. And she asks him to send out an SOS. So he runs back like he's calling for an SOS and Mayday, Mayday, and all that good stuff, SOS, letting them know what's going on the ship, on his yacht. And it's just all fake. Because he comes back and he says, okay, you know what? The jig is up. I've been playing you. I told you I got you, right? I got you and all your friends. And Jeanette's watching her friends get torn into pieces. Arms ripped off. Just torn completely to pieces. And Jeanette says, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he says, I'll show you. So he tears off his skin. And now he has this hideous face, slightly that of a goat, but a goat skin that's been decayed. And the horns and all. And she's freaking out. And she's crying. And he tells her, no, don't cry now. You're willing to sacrifice everything that you needed, everything that you had, that beautiful family, all for what? To satisfy your sexual urges because you said you were not happy. But he's done nothing to you. He did nothing wrong to you. And we can't wait to get women like you here. Yeah, there are other succubasts that did the same thing to men, but today we're talking about you ladies. We got you guys. And we on a one-way trip to hell. So Jeanette's running to the front. She goes up the stairs, and then she runs to the front of the bow. And then she can see it. A huge whirlpool. And then her pursuer is right behind her. His legs are even shaped like goat legs with hooves. And he says, yeah, this is that one stop. And I told you I got you. I'm going to tell you again, I got you. And I'm never letting you go. Welcome to hell. And he starts laughing. And she's screaming. And she can see down in the middle of the whirlpool as they start circling it. She can see that there's arms and people screaming and tentacles and everything, every abominable thing that you can think of is reaching up. And just like a toilet drain, the boat goes right over the edge and falls right into the middle. And it continues to circle until she's been collected, as well as the rest of the ladies that she came with. And all you can hear is screams. And you can hear a bzzz. And the ocean is calm. The sky returns to normal. And that's that. Antoine takes the boys home for one last pickup and scoop. Get some things that he needed. He looks around, doesn't see her. She's gone. He's fine with it. The boys ask, where's mom? And he tells them, hey, me and your mom are getting a divorce. This is the best thing for us. She no longer wants to be part of what we're doing. And I'm sorry, boys. So we're going to be moving on. Don't know where she's at. She didn't even leave a note or anything like that to tell us where she was going. So, hey, we're going to be all right. So let's just go pack up the rest of your stuff and let's go. And as they walk by the mirror, you can see Jeanette being eaten alive, but she's banging on the mirrors, trying to get the attention. And nobody can hear her, nobody can see her. And each time they walk past the mirror, she runs to another mirror in the house, and she's banging as the creatures rip into her skin and continue to tear at her, ripping at her face. She's continuing to scream through the glass, but no one can hear her. As they go to the car to get in, Antoine takes one more last look back, and he looks at the mirror, and she's beating on the window, she's screaming his name, and he closes the door, and they drive off as she's ripped, flesh and soul apart. Well, that was Forfeit Your Soul Part 3. You guys share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these stories. Again, this is the month of Halloween, so I'm definitely trying to bring you guys good stories. This is a hobby of mine. Stuff has been copyrighted 2020. And I do have additional work already that's already published out right now. I'm trying to get my next 2 books out. One a kids novel and one adult sci-fi. They're on Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, Ingram, Nook, and Kindle. And you guys feel free if you want to donate to my Cash App, which is $outrage95. Every little bit helps and is greatly appreciated. So again, hit that thumbs up. All support is necessary and all support is needed to keep the channel going. And I really appreciate you guys leaving comments and talking to me about things. And again, I'm just trying to make sure you guys have some extra entertainment and help scare you during this month of Halloween. Take your mind off of things for a little bit, and then go back to your normal life. But again, trying to provide some entertainment. And this has been L.A. Kendrick from the House of Havoc. Remember, check the dark recesses of your home. Check your closets. Check under your beds. And if you happen to work at night, make sure you check your surroundings when you step out. Check under your cars, because you never know what's lurking in the dark, waiting to make you a story. And this has been L.A. Kendrick, bringing you the haunted Halloween heavy.